Greetings, this is Jazz for Jazz Reviews with the infamous list, the top 10 most milked video game franchises. Criteria: the video game series must have been considered milked to the point of saturation. The series must have also, for the most part, have been main titles pumped out with very limited changes to the core game. So I don't particularly care for numerous sequels if they have in fact consistently raised the bar and evolved through the times. But without further delay, kicking off at number 10, the most successful racing video game series of all time, Need for Speed. With at least one, sometimes two games releasing every single year since 1994, the mileage behind this series is showing some serious milkage. Through multiple developers and a number of miserable Need for Speed games, it's also true that we've seen a number of U-turn successes with games like Most Wanted. But as with most titles published by Electronic Arts, it's all rather hit and miss. And it now even has its own movie. At number 9, its gameplay more akin to that of superheroes than actual assassins. Assassin's Creed. With an avid fanbase that will inevitably strive to defend Ubisoft's flagship, one thing is clear: the series has been milked. Each drop has implemented a number of changes or features, but very few ever changed the core game. The biggest I see was the design choice to include ship battles for the two most recent games. But Creed is the subject of gimmicky stealth features and the combat system trapped in very casual and forgiving elements of counters and sleek animations. The series is one of presentation and pleasing the masses, all for sale. Assassin's Creed Unity promises to finally address the stealth and difficulty issues. But another title, Rogue, has already been announced as yet another sequel just 1 month short of Unity. Two big Creed games in the space of 2 months. Should we believe in the hype? Even with the spiraling storyline of nonsensical plot holes, you can bet your ass that Creed will continue to be sold and hugely marketed every single year.
I can only believe that what we are doing is the right thing, that I can stop this disaster.
At number 8, the games that laid the very foundations of the survival horror genre, Resident Evil. Ironic then that the series has done its very best to escape its critical acclaim, with ever more typical cinematic action, just like any other third-person shooter now. The transition from horror to action began with the development of Resident Evil 4. Shinji Mikami, the creator of the series, urged the team to strive for fun gameplay, and in all honesty, number 4 was quite possibly the perfect balance between survival horror and action. But the father of what was once so highly regarded left the studio in pursuit of other projects. And from that point onwards, we have seen the series and the survival horror genre itself plummet to what it is today. You could say the series has evolved in an attempt to better please the mass of gamers, but at what cost? Everything. However, with the return of Shinji Mikami, we may see the genre we once lost revitalized with the upcoming horror game, The Evil Within. At number 7, the franchise released on an annual basis, FIFA. In truth, any sports game could appear on this list, but FIFA to me just seems like the worst of the bunch. Gone are the days when sports games needed a brand new disc to update rosters and make minor changes to the game. With the ease of downloading today, Electronic Arts do utilize our internet connections, all to ram as much overpriced DLC down our throats as possible, and collecting player packs just became more addicting than heroin. With a total of 22 core titles, FIFA does little to warrant the full $60 price tag year after year. The average player will come to the series time and time again without realizing that these games are made with minimal investment. Supposed overhauls are but minor tweaks in game development, but often praised as major innovations as a part of a soccer game. But as with any sports title, like Madden for instance, this is accepted. And as a result, FIFA is the best-selling sports franchise in the business.
Got to be, and it's in for the goal.
At number 6. Created in Japan, worshipped worldwide. Pokemon. Despite the nostalgic love we will always hold for the early Pokemon games, the franchise is not one you would associate with innovation. Gotta catch 'em all is the operative slogan in a series that will forever spew new Pokemon breeds for the upcoming 6th generation of money-grabbing monsters. It is the second best-selling video game franchise of all time, with well over 250 million units sold, not forgetting its mark on TV and the movies. And there is still gallons of the stuff to be drawn from millions of fans all over the world. At number 5. Something that often gets a free pass, but not this time. Street Fighter. In essence, the same game will be re-released several times, with each update usually sold at full retail price. And it's the most loyal Street Fighter fans that get shafted the most. It's the equivalent of buying a car and being told to pay an extra arbitrary fee to roll up the windows or use the air conditioner. Capcom is one of the worst companies in DLC milking. For the majority of the time, the only difference will be new characters or stages, with extremely minor fighting tweaks for the price. Characters that are already on the disc are charged for at a later date. And on top of pre-order bonuses, Capcom are a company that take down YouTube channels, erase Twitter and Facebook comments to censor legitimate criticism of business practice, which in Capcom's case is definitely pushing it. At number 4. In a galaxy of monstrous sales figures forged by a true Sith Lord, Star Wars. The franchise is now estimated in excess of $30 billion, forever climbing now at its new home of kisses and cuddles. The behemoth has made over $3 billion in video games alone, with literally hundreds and hundreds of titles under its belt, mainstream and small. The vigorous milking of gaming has all too often turned sour for a gajillion Star Wars games, many that were abysmal. Nevertheless, the machine will continue to churn titles like Battlefront 3. So the real question is, do gamers truly want Star Wars to come to an end? At number 3. Capcom actually consider themselves proud of this one. It's the Blue Bomber, Mega Man. In 2008, Mega Man received a Guinness World Gaming Record for the most number of games in a single series. The gaming edition contained a fair amount of inaccuracies, so Capcom challenged that and went on record to say that there were much more games than just 46 titles, and also acknowledged the little dude had been milked like no other in the industry. Say what you will of its gameplay, but by counting the Japan-only releases, the series holds the highest ratio of games releasing in a year. At number 2, the game in which the majority of players have slept with their mums. Or so they claim in Call for Money Recycled Warfare. Call of Duty has been kinged as the most hated milked franchise of last generation, with the aid of colossal marketing campaigns.
And that's where I come in.
Promises of massive overhauls and innovative features are shown off as the best thing since sliced bread, and all with as much flair as the Michael Bay-inspired set pieces. But even with multiple developers, nothing ever really changes. The formula stays very much the same, a copy-paste if you will. Basic textures and animations haven't exactly altered since Call of Duty 4. The game desperately needs a new engine to even reach the same league as that of its rivals. There are developers that pull down all kinds of technological walls in game development, only to crash and burn through insufficient funding or sales. But this is Activision's cash cow, with a serious lack of innovation all through vigorous milking at every turn. Call of Duty is ranked so highly on this list thanks to how much milk COD has produced in just a very short window, with approximately 140 million units sold since COD 4. Should the series die already? And if so, when will the money train slow down? Just before revealing the milkiest substances in this list, a few honorable and deserving mentions go out to Guitar Hero, Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, and The Sims. But finally, at number 1, Nintendo's billion-dollar frontman, Mario. As a franchise centered around Mario alone, we are talking 450 million units sold. Making the little Italian famous for the best-selling video game franchise in the world. From 8 Mario Kart games to Mario Party and Mario Golf World Tour, there is clearly a ton of variety across the series. The Galaxy editions show me what happens when Nintendo push for creativity and innovates upon its massive IP. But then the new Super Mario Bros. As a 2D series remains stuck in a neutral state of stagnation. If you've played one, you've definitely played them all. And every one of these games will recycle the same assets time and time again. There is no doubt that as a global phenomenon, the Mario franchise is milked. But take that away, and it will be millions of Nintendo fans left bitterly disappointed. Perhaps milking isn't all that bad, rather a case of quality versus quantity. But when the stuff is pumped out all through a lack of innovation and blatant money grabbing, that's when the milk turns sour.
Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change.
This has been Jazz for Jazz Reviews with the top 10 most milked video game franchises. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to question these choices as much as you can. But all the same, you can also question me all you want on Twitter, which can be found in the description below. On a side note, there's a hefty amount of kids in a war-torn Syria that will benefit from direct clicks to this video. If the video reaches 250,000 views, the Make Life Better Foundation and Guerrilla Aid will literally build them an entire football field. So one click on the annotation or link below will go towards all of that. And if there's YouTube producers listening out there, a slight mention or link in the description will surely go a long way. But until next time, thanks for watching, and please do stay tuned for the next top 10 list. I'll see you in the comments.
Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Nice shot!